Bahari was nominated by Desmond Tutu for the Prince of Asturias Award for Concord, widely known as Spain's Nobel Prize. In 2009, he was arrested at his family's home in Tehran and incarcerated. An international campaign to free him was started and included many professional organizations, family, friends, as well as the U.S. Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, speaking publicly on his case. After 118 days in jail, he was released on a $300,000...
In 1945, after the end of the Second World War, the Soviet troops, the Allied forces, of course, they occupied Iran in 1941 as a way to stop Hitler's advance in the Eastern Front. And after the Second World War in 1945, the British and the American forces withdrew from Iran, but the Russians, they maintained their forces in the northern province of Azerbaijan in Iran. And eventually they created this Socialist Republic of Azerbaijan in Iran, and it was only with the help of Harry Truman, an American government, that Iranians managed to gain back the province of Azerbaijan to have the integrity of territory. And they asked Truman, how did you do it? And he said that I called Stalin and I asked him to withdraw his forces or else. And they asked him, so what was Stalin's answer? He said he withdrew his forces. So in that era, up to, let's say, 1951, 52, Americans, they had a very, very positive image in Iran. They were regarded as the benevolent empire, especially compared to the Russian Empire and the British Empire, who were looting Iran for decades at the time, especially the British, who monopolized the Iranian oil in southern Iran, and they basically treated the southern territories of Iran as part of the British Empire. So when the nationalization movement started in Iran in 1951 by a prime minister, by Iranian Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh, Mossadegh also believed in American benevolence. And Truman actually truly believed in Mossadegh's fight against the British, because Truman, like most Americans, hated the colonial approach of the British. And that was a coup d'etat that was supported by the CIA, that was basically designed by the CIA and carried out by the CIA. And the reason for that decision was to stop the advancement of Soviet Union. And many of you are too young to remember the Cold War event, but in the early 1950s, the Cold War was a reality. The Soviet Union was taking over different countries, especially in the developing world, one by one, and that was the main fear of the American government at the time. And when you go back to the literature of the time, there's nothing, no one talks about anything except for the Cold War, and it was the era of McCarthyism. So the American government, the central government, the federal government was really under pressure to take action against the Soviets. So they backed this coup d'etat, they designed it, and they brought back the Shah of Iran, who started his reign from 1941, and then he was a weak Shah. He was a weak king from 1941 to 1952, and then he escaped to Rome. And the Americans, they brought him to power, and they supported him wholeheartedly. And that was, I think that was really a milestone in Iran-America relationship, because from 1953 on, America was not that benevolent empire anymore. America was seen in Iran as the master of the Shah. America was seen as the country that is against the independence of Iran. America was seen as another empire like the British and the Soviet Empire. And worst of all, when you go back to the literature, when you go back to even the CIA diaries of the time, you can see that many CIA officers in Iran who brought Shah back to power, they did not agree with what he was doing, they did not agree with human rights abuses, but they failed in communicating with Iranian people. And there lies a problem that we will get back to it later on. But I would like to show you a clip